Has anyone seen Tether's billions? A wild search for the US dollar supposedly backing the stablecoin at the center of the global cryptocurrency industry, uh, and in the crosshairs of US regulators and prosecutors. We've been talking about this for years. Nobody ever thought Tether was backed by anything. At one point, they did prove their accounts, but it was a snapshot. It wasn't a live proof. It was like Ocean's 11. It could have been a completely different video. And then they went on and just kept making more Tether and selling more Tether. And everyone in the cryptocurrency said, hey, that Tether's not so good. But the people who trade, they need that Tether. They need to go in and out of Bitcoin and altcoins and into a US dollar backed thing. And they chose Tether. But now Bloomberg Business Week has written a long article about Tether. And we're going to Dan Eve. Dan, what's going on with Tether? Do you think they're going to find those billions of dollars?
Well, I read somewhere that they had a there's a presentation with a pie chart in, so that and it shows that 30 billion was in commercial paper. So that's proof, right? They've got a pie chart. That's half of it, right? It's now what 68 billion market cap. So yeah, that's nearly half. I'll take the word from it. I think the rest is backed by thoughts and prayers. Hashtag thoughts and prayers, of course. No, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's become kind of synonymous a bit with Bitcoin pumps, because when tethers are printed, Bitcoin seems to do pretty darn good. But that's when you think about the breakdown of the logic, if it's the tether bank or the tether not bank that are taking in fiat money and giving people tethers so that they can then go and buy Bitcoin, then it makes logical sense that if they have a massive influx of money, that's because they're getting capital in, which is allowing them to print tethers, and when they're giving those tethers to people, they're going out and buying Bitcoin. So I think that kind of makes sense. What they mentioned as well in that article was about the not bank run, right? The Fed is kind of scared that there may be a not bank run if everyone suddenly freaks out and starts to try and withdraw their tethers, and there's an issue where there's obviously not enough fiat money to actually cover that. But if you think about the logistics of that and how much is like sat on exchanges and in like decentralized exchanges, normal exchanges, people have got orders in, that would have to be quite a huge pull out happening. And I can't even think of the logistics of all of that coming out, unless it's they really haven't got sod all to back it. But what was quite interesting, that article said about Janet Yellen summoning the chair of the Federal Reserve, and it made me think of like her summoning a demon, a money printing demon. Like, she's summoned the demon of the Federal Reserve, and he's like got this infinite amount of money. So we kind of we mock the Fed for having their infinite amount of money, but obviously on the other side, the Fed are mocking Tether.
Infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
That's an infinite amount of cash. But what's significant about Tether and these other stable coins is that they often trade much higher volumes than their actual market cap. So like even right now, the market cap's 68 billion and it's generated $81 billion of volume. So in terms of the usage of these cryptos, the stable coin cryptos, they're being heavily used. They're very integral to the general system. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because it is just a digitized fiat. I don't know. It's anyone's call, but I don't know. I think ultimately it's a very kind of private offshore company. We'll never really know unless they do some sort of proof of funds thing. Maybe someone will try and trigger a proof of keys run on like Trace Mayer, with a proof of keys. Maybe someone will try that with Tether and be like, oh, on October 31st, we're going to do a proof of Tether run. Like, everyone pull your Tether and try and, and then Halloween, everything goes crazy. And, Freddie, I was going to say Freddie Mercury comes back, but Freddie from hell, whatever it is, from Freddie Nightmare on Elm Street, or Freddie Mercury, either way, start singing at people. But I don't know. Freddie May. But I think let them get on with it. Let them print more tethers if it's going to pump Bitcoin.
Second coming of Freddie Mercury? Yes. Also, Dan's virtual bank run has me picturing It's a Wonderful Life, but there's no one to go to and to complain to. Oh, why your money isn't here? It's in Fred's wallet. It's in Jeff's. It's in Joe's. It's not here. And Josh Agala, they say one tether equals $1. Would you buy that for $1?
I certainly would not. Look, there's multiple things here. The biggest problem isn't that Tether doesn't have the money. The biggest problem is that we don't know if they have the money. This is, for me, the hardest thing about Tether is that we don't know. I mean, what a ridiculous thing is that we have now a system that JP Morgan Chase have said that it's up there with BlackRock in terms of size of fund. Yet we don't know. We don't know. It's backing this whole system. So Tether has multiple issues. Any of these centralized stable coins do. So you have USDC as well. Like they have all these issues because once you have negative interest rates hitting America, what are you going to do now? Then the whole business model breaks as well. These centralized stable coins, they're ludicrous. And really, if Tether went, oh, okay, we'll show you the bank accounts. Here's the bank accounts. Here's how much we've got. But the fact of the matter is, you don't know if the bank is even liquid. So even if they had every single thing in money, you don't know how much the bank is speculating with that, because that's then intransparent. So you've got layers of intransparency. And not only that, you have this dangerous concept where Tether Corporation can just print these fake money, which is actually counterfeiting money in a way, because they're just saying, well, this is equal to $1, like this is $1. And you're like, if I made a $1 note, I would be arrested. But they can just print these out of nowhere and say it's $1, not prove that it's backed by anything. And it's super dangerous, because they can then take that and buy an actual rare number. And people are willing to give them their rare Bitcoins for this thing that they don't know. They're just printing out of nowhere. And we've gone full bump circle. And that's why USD Circle as well is a nonsense as well. Just the same, even though it might be regulated, the big shit's going to hit the fan once the CBDCs come out, these centralized cryptos, these central banked cryptos, because they're going to go, right, we don't like competition. Tether's got to be illegal. USD is going to be illegal. And, they're just going to take over and go, right, we're now doing our thing. PAX and all of these companies. So there's a massive attack vector that's quite sort of esoteric almost. Like it's kind of hard to see for a lot of people. But it's there and it'll happen. And this is why we're building the standard, is to build really a way to have stable coins that are fully backed by crypto or by gold and by real assets stuck in smart contracts that everybody can audit and say that there's more value locked up in these smart contracts than there is stable coins floating around. So this is the beauty of working with cryptographic proofs. You can say, hey, there's more value locked up provably in these smart contracts. Yeah, there's some attack vectors, like if the smart contracts get hacked, they could lose that whole thing. So that's important. But you have that generally in crypto. Wallets, you need to trust the wallet, that the technology is watertight. But let's say something like MakerDAO has been around for 4 years or something like that, or 3, and has never had a hack. It's got billions stuck in there, and you can see the billions of rare numbers in there with less value as stable coins floating about. This is amazing. This is everything that the gold standard wanted to be, where you have real assets backing the currency. You have money backing currency. And this is also something that people don't understand, money versus currency. So, right now, all we're dealing with is currency. We don't have money anymore. The Federal Reserve doesn't issue money, it issues currency. And people are spending and toiling their entire life for currency, for units of account. And this is a really, really dangerous thing, because you're saving in something that can be printed because they have infinite money at the Federal Reserve. And so it's really a time now, if you're into crypto, is to get away from centralized stablecoins and start using things like MakerDAI, like the standard once we release it, because these things are true technologies that play out the cypherpunk's dream of having real assets in the crypto sphere, plus privacy, and there's a whole bunch of stuff we still need to work on. But yeah, that's my Tether spiel.